Welcome to the Empowerment Zone with Ramona Houston, where we zone in on Black and Brown relations and our journey to empowering our communities.
Thank you for joining the Empowerment Zone. I am your host, Ramona Houston. I am so excited today to have Sandra, also known as Sandy, Espinosa Holt, here on my show today. She currently serves as the Chief Development and Marketing Officer for the Hispanic Association of Colleges and Universities, also called HACU. In her current capacity, she oversees the areas of development and fundraising, conferences and events, and communications and marketing. Now, prior to coming to HACU, Sandy served in multiple leadership roles in higher education. Some of the colleges include Our Lady of the Lake University, Northwest Vista College, University of the Incarnate Word, and St. Mary's University, which are all located in San Antonio, Texas. Sandy lives in San Antonio, and as you all know, I'm a Texan, and San Antonio has to be one of my favorite cities. As much as I travel, I love San Antonio, so I'm so delighted to have Sandy here to talk about HACU. Now, over the years, many years, people had been telling me, Ramona, you need to get involved with HACU. You need to get involved with HACU. And I never really followed up, but I ended up meeting Dr. Antonio Flores, who is the president and CEO of HACU, at a conference about 4 years ago. And I have seen him at many conferences, but never introduced myself. And so I was so happy. We were sitting at the same table, and he encouraged me to get involved. So I've been participating and supporting HACU's work for about 4 years now. My first conference that I attended was in San Diego, and it was absolutely one of my favorite conferences in terms of content. That conference was very good, and I'm so nerdy. I was trying to get into every panel discussion I could. It was really a great conference, and so I'm so happy to have HACU here, who is really focused on success in higher education for Latina students. They have many programs, and Sandy's going to tell us all about HACU. Sandy, welcome.
Thank you so very much, Ramona. It's such a pleasure to be with you today. And yes, you and I also met at a conference at about that time, a separate conference. I believe we were at the LULAC conference when you and I first met. And then later on, you did meet Dr. Antonio Flores, who is our president and CEO, at another conference. And you have also been very involved with the Hispanic Association on Corporate Responsibility as well. And so you've attended that conference. So we definitely have a lot of, things that we are championing that are very much alike, and in the space that you're in, and diversity and inclusion and social justice and equity for not only Hispanics, but also the African American Black communities. So Black and Brown, go Ramona. You love getting into all of those issues, and they are very important issues, and they're important to HACU as well. But HACU is an organization that was founded 34 years ago in 1986. It was founded in San Antonio, Texas, on the campus of Our Lady of the Lake University. And at the time, there were 18 founding members, and the founding members were institutions who organically were growing large populations of Hispanic students. However, at the federal level, there was no representation for such a type of an institution. So this organization was created by the founder, who at the time was another Antonio, Dr. Antonio Rigual, who immigrated to the United States from Cuba, and at the time was the vice president of institutional advancement at Our Lady of the Lake University. So he brought together these 18 founding members, and the organization was established in 1986. again, because there was no representation for these type of institutions at the federal level, the organization advocated to ensure that these institutions would be recognized and that funding would be available for these institutions to build capacity. So they coined the phrase Hispanic Serving Institution and advocated at the federal level. And by about 1992, the federal government did recognize Hispanic Serving Institutions as the official designation for these institutions. And at that time also provided funding and legislation for these institutions to apply for funding and help them build capacity at their respective institutions. The definition of an HSI is actually 25% a minimum Hispanic enrollment and also high financial need that is determined by the Pell Grant eligibility of students that attend those respective campuses. So we started out with 18 founding members, and today there are 539 Hispanic serving institutions across the United States and Puerto Rico. Wow. And yes, and we are averaging about 30 new Hispanic serving institutions every year. So as you can imagine, because we are across the United States and in Puerto Rico, these institutions are also very diverse. These institutions are also enrolling more African Americans, more Asian Americans, and more Native Americans than those specific institutions might be enrolling. And that's because we are in your community. We're in everyone's communities. And students have choices now, which is wonderful. And so they are able to select the college or university that best meets their needs, either by staying in their respective community or based on their respective majors. So our mission is to champion Hispanic higher education success. And our main focus is advocacy to ensure that our institutions continue to get additional funding. They currently have to apply for competitive grant opportunities. So that means that not all of our Hispanic serving institutions are able to tap into those federal funds. So as you can imagine, the work continues, and we have to ensure that we are able to get more federal funding so that these institutions can all receive federal funding and not have to go through a competitive grant application process. And I want to tell you that while our mission is to champion Hispanic higher education success, we are also helping all the students at a campus, because when these institutions are able to get the funding that helps them build capacity at their institution, the services go to everyone, not just the Hispanic students on their respective campuses. So again, our institutions, like all institutions, want to make sure that students are going to be successful when they reach their campuses and will be able to succeed along the way, be able to graduate, be able to get that job that they have been dreaming about, and then, of course, be able to contribute back to their institutions once they become productive citizens in their respective communities. So we want to ensure that all students have that opportunity, if they want to attend a college or university, that they are able to do so and that they are able to succeed. And we do this in many ways. For our member institutions, I just mentioned advocacy is the biggest one. We also provide professional development for our college and university administrators. So I'm going to talk a little bit now about some of the programming that we offer. For college and university administrators, we offer annual conference that provides professional development for them to be able to come together and share best practices in outreach, in student retention and student graduation. They're able to share what are the best practices in all of those areas to reach the Latino Hispanic community and all students in general. And how can they ensure that students are going to be successful on their respective campuses? So that's the type of gathering that we provide. That's the example that you gave of the conference that you attended where you were really blown away. Yeah. We want to share with our member institutions and their staff what's going on in higher education at the federal level as well. And so that gives them an opportunity to all come together. We also provide a leadership academy, which we call La Academia de Liderazgo, for college and university administrators who would like to continue to move up in their respective careers in higher education and eventually seek that president's position. We have gone backward in terms of the number of Hispanic presidents that are in higher education as presidents and administrators, and we want to ensure that we're going to be able to groom the next group of Hispanic educators so that they are able to then lead not only our Hispanic serving institution, but perhaps other institutions across the United States. For our college and university students, HACU for 28 years now has been conducting a HACU National Internship Program. We have made over 13,000 placements across the United States in federal agencies and also in corporations. As you know, not only in the federal government and federal sector, but also in the corporate sector, diversity, inclusion, and equity is very, very important. So we do have a lot of partners at the federal level and also at the corporate sector that reach out to us in order for us to assist them with internship opportunities and also full-time hire opportunities. And we reach out to our college and university members to get the students that are high talented individuals who are really looking for these internship opportunities. And all of our internship opportunities are paid internships. As you can imagine, the majority of our students from Hispanic serving institutions, Hispanic students tend to be first generation college students, and they need all the assistance that they can get. And so paid internships are very important. I know in the past, internships, there were many of them that were volunteer type internships. But we ensured that all of our internships are paid in order for these institutions to be able to help with their financial needs, such as, just housing, or many times students are also assisting their families, whether they're living on campus or whether they're commuting. They also assist the family unit. So we want to make sure that those internship opportunities are paid. So that is a really great program that we've had for a very long time. We also have the Adelante Leadership Institute, and that is a parallel training program in career and leadership development that we provide to undergraduate students at our annual conference. So while the college and university professionals are learning about higher education and sharing best practices on how to retain students and graduate students and reach out to students, the students are really learning about soft skills. And what I mean by soft skills is these students academically are doing fantastic. The GPAs are anywhere between a 3.0 to a 4.0 GPA on the students that we select as part of the Adelante Leadership Institute. However, the soft skills is where they may lack, and maybe also because they may not have a lot of role models at home that are able to provide this type of service, but such things as how to prepare for an interview, how to prepare for a corporate interview, how to prepare for a federal interview. They may be very different. How to prepare for an artificial intelligence type of interview that a corporation might start out with. How to prepare a resume, how to make sure that you stand out. The Hispanic community can be a very humble community, and sometimes it's very hard for them to brag about themselves. So we want students to really accentuate the positive about themselves and their skills that they have developed, as well as the educational major or career that they wish to pursue. We want them to be able to really capture that on their resume and then be able to share that with prospective employers. We want them to also know how to network, how to do a handshake and look somebody in the eye. It may be a fist bump now, or it may be a high five in the air from 6 feet across from somebody now, and or on a Zoom call like we are doing today. There are multiple media modes on how people are going to be able to do interviews and conduct interviews. And so we want to make sure that these students are prepared to do that they feel confident and that they feel that they can bring themselves to an interview, especially since these employers are really truly wanting to diversify their workforce, and they want to make sure that they have a pipeline of talent that they're going to be able to groom and move up within their respective organizations. So the HACU National Internship Program is a very, very important program for us. We also have a Leaders in Residence scholarship program, and the Leaders in Residence are students that we select through an application process that are on their respective campuses an ambassador for our organization. And they are able to provide students on their campuses information about HACU and what we have to offer for them, as well as letting them know about the conference and the training opportunities that we provide for them. And so we usually select anywhere from 60 to 75 students for the Leaders in Residence program, and they are then given a scholarship to be able to attend our annual conference and be leaders during the conference for many of the undergrad students, graduate students that attend and participate in the Adelante Leadership Institute. We also have Emerging Leaders Summits, and these Emerging Leaders Summits are kind of a mini to our Adelante Leadership Institute. We hold them in different parts of the country, so they are regional summits, and many of the times they are focused on specific majors. So, for example, we just recently did one in the fall that was actually last spring, that was in Colorado. And the reason that we held it in Colorado is Colorado has a little mini Silicon Valley in Colorado. And so we wanted to focus on STEM, and particularly IT, computer science type majors, engineering majors, et cetera, that would be interested in working with companies that offer those type of roles. And so we had the Emerging Leaders Summit in Colorado at one of our member institutions, and we bring together about 100 students for that. And it was wonderful because the employers are able to meet with the students, have interaction with them, get to know them on a personal level. And at the same time, the students are getting career and leadership development training for that. So it's an excellent opportunity for students. In addition to that, we also have scholarship opportunities. We have academic scholarship opportunities for students at HACU.net. And we also have a travel award program that we call the Lancete program. And Ramona, I would like to go ahead and thank you because you were able to serve as one of the reviewers on our review committee. It's a tough job for our reviewers. We get over 500 applications for these travel awards, and the committee will select anywhere between 150 to 200 students to receive a travel award that is a round trip to and from their university in order for them to be able to visit family or to bring family with them to a graduation ceremony or to help them move on into a respective campus. The students write an essay for any of the scholarships that we have and also for the travel award program. And our review committees review all of the scholarship applicants, and they have a tough job because the students are able to share why it is that they need the support of the academic scholarship or the travel award program. And the reviewers have a hard time because, as you can imagine, there is so much need out there, especially right now in light of COVID. There is a lot of need for students to be able to pay their rent. Some of them may have been displaced when they had to leave their respective campuses. And so they're trying to find either a place to live, figure out how they're going to pay their bills, figure out how they're going to get some food, just what you would consider basic necessities in order to survive. So it's very, very important that students apply for these type of funds that are available through HACU. And again, Ramona, I'll end the academic scholarship and the travel award by saying thank you for participating in that program as one of our reviewers. It's greatly appreciated.
It was my pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, it was wonderful. We also provide university tours to middle and high school students. Right now, we're kind of slow on that because of the fact that many of the K-12 institutions were closed and are pretty much online. But when we're back up and able to bus students in from what what we call Hispanic serving school districts, what we like to do is bring in students from middle school and high school to one of our member institutions, a college or a university, in order for these students to be able to learn all about the admissions process, all about the financial aid process, to be able to tour a university and be able to sit in on a class and observe what exactly happens on a college or university, be able to hear from current college students on what they went through in order to get into higher education, be able to talk to students about different majors that are available in higher education and how they can make that dream for themselves possible by attending a college or university. So again, championing Hispanic higher education success is our mission, and we do it everywhere from working with K-12 all the way through our undergraduate students in higher education. And then also for our professional development of our professionals, as well as our students who participate in our conference, friends of HACU, and just those that are interested in the Hispanic community, they're always able to attend our annual conference. We have an annual conference every year in October. This year, our conference is going to be a virtual conference. So that's a great opportunity for people who have never been able to participate by traveling and attending our conference to participate this year. Our conference is going to be held on October the 26th through October the 28th. All of our information to register for the conference is already on our website at www.hacu.net. So I encourage all of your listeners, if they would like to participate, to go ahead and register. We'd love to have you on board for our annual conference. Every year, we also have an advocacy conference, which we call the National Capital Forum on Higher Ed, on Hispanic higher education success, and we usually have that in Washington, D.C. It will be coming up in April. However, this past April, we had to do it virtually. And so once again, we have all the information on our website for anyone who would like to register for the National Capital Forum, and that forum focuses on all of the issues that HACU is focused on in terms of advocacy. For example, making sure that the federal government continues to increase the funding for Hispanic serving institutions through Title V or Title III of the Higher Education Act, and then ensuring that any other federal agencies who are also provided with funding to support minority serving institutions are also supporting Hispanic serving institutions. It also allows our members and all of our participants to also have an opportunity to meet with their respective legislators from their states on Capitol Hill when we do it in person, and on the telephone when we do it virtually. So it's a great opportunity to bring people together who are championing Hispanic higher education success and letting their respective legislators know that these students are important and that the programming that is provided for them on colleges and universities is important, and we want them to also see it as important by putting money into these programs to ensure that these students are successful in their higher education experience. And then last but not least, we also have an international conference. We do have an international membership that we were able to establish. And the purpose of our international conference is to be able to bring colleges and universities from Mexico, South America, and also Spain to come together with the colleges and university administrators from the United States so that they can collaborate. We are moving more and more into a global type of universe where everyone is working together, especially now through technology. It's very easy for people to work and collaborate with each other. We want to make sure that they are able to perhaps consider faculty exchange opportunities, able to provide study abroad opportunities for our college and university students. And many of our students have also never been to, the native land of maybe where their ancestors came from. So it's a great opportunity for them not to only go to Europe for study abroad opportunities, but go to some of these countries that are Spanish-speaking countries and be able to pick up on their culture and learn more about their culture, and more important, the language, right? To be able to understand the language. So it is a wonderful opportunity, and any information about our international conference is also located on our website at HACU.net. So that pretty much is HACU in I would say a nutshell, but I probably went a little bit over on that. But I just want to make sure that your listeners are aware of what we do and what might benefit them, because your listeners may be a diverse group of individuals from multiple backgrounds and also multiple industries. So wanted to make sure that you had a thorough understanding of who we are and what we do and what our mission is.
Yes, thank you so much for sharing. Sandy, you provided a wealth of information. We all know that our nation's economic and social success depends upon the success of Latinos, and education is a part of that process. And you gave us a very comprehensive view of the programs, projects, and initiatives that HACU has that is important to developing the success of Latinos in higher education. We know that success doesn't start when you get to college. It starts way before you go to college. So you have the K through 12 programming. You have you're teaching professionals who are in higher education best practices in terms of recruiting, retaining, and graduating students, providing professional development opportunities, not just for professionals, but also for students, scholarships. And I love the idea about paid internships, because many times students can't afford, as you explained, to take an internship when their contribution to the family is very much expected from the family, and they can't afford to just work with no pay. The leaders in residence, I love that idea about having ambassadors on the campus. No one can speak better for HACU than the students who are products of your programming. So that's a great way, beyond just having faculty and staff on campuses, but also having students there to get students involved and let them know the resources that are there. As you stated, many of these students are first generation students. They don't have anybody there to guide them through the process or know where to find resources. And to have those ambassadors there to say, hey, here's some scholarship programs, internships. Hey, go to this conference, learn these soft skills. That is a great idea in terms of the leaders in residence. And then also the Emerging Leaders Summit. I mean, you had all these great ideas, great programs that HACU has, as well as the university tours. I want to encourage my listeners that if you agree and want to affirm and support the work of HACU, listening to Sandy, there's no way you can't find a space right there. You can participate on the individual level. If you're an educator, if you're in government, or even if you're in the private sector, there are many ways that you can contribute to the growth, development, and the continued success of HACU. For those of you who want to learn more about them, remember their conference, national conference, which this is the first time we're going to host it virtually, will be October 26th and 20 through 28th, 2020. I was so looking forward to going to Orlando. My goodness.
I know. I think you and every student was excited about going to Orlando, but we promise we will go back to Orlando, and you will still have an opportunity once we get through this whole COVID craziness. So stand by, Ramona. We will get you back in Orlando.
Yes, I just love seeing Mickey Mouse at the last conference in Chicago. I was like, oh, we're going to Orlando. So anyway, I'm glad to hear that y'all going to reconsider that. And then also the National Capital Forum on Hispanic Education. That's always in April. And then you didn't mention the date of the international conference. You have that every 2 years, is that correct?
Yes, we have it every other year. And unfortunately, we were slated to have it in Spain in 2021. However, it has currently been postponed. As you know, or may not know, Spain was also hit very, very hard with COVID-19. And so it would not be prudent for us to host the international conference at this time. So at this time, we do not have a date yet for the next one, but stay tuned by visiting our website at HACU.net, and we will provide information on when the next one will be.
Okay, that sounds great.
Yeah.
So if they want to learn, if the audience wants to learn more about HACU or wants to get in touch with the organization, could you please share your website information?
Absolutely. If anyone would like to get in touch with us, please visit us at www.hacu.net. You can also call our main number. It is 210-692-3805. But when you visit our website for student programs, just go to the student program tab or student tab, and you can have information about all of the programming that we have for students, for college and university administrators. You can look at the programming that we have, such as La Academia for the Liderazgo, for the leadership training. And for our advocacy, we have an advocacy tab, so college and university administrators, and also the general public can key into our advocacy tab and learn what the issues are. And when we do calls to action, we will actually send you information and say specifically what we need your assistance with. And we'll even guide you on some of the language that you can use. And sometimes it's just a matter of pushing a button where we already have everything ready for you to go and for you just to add your name to that. And for anyone who would just like to get information from us on a regular basis, when they visit our website at hacu.net, we also have a news tab. You can sign up for our electronic newsletter. And on our electronic newsletter, which we send out on a monthly basis, we will always inform you of all of the opportunities that are available, whether it's for students or for professionals. So it gives you an up-to-date of information that is available through HACU and what we're doing in order to serve our respective community and our college and university members.
Great. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you for having me on your planning committees and your scholarship committees. It was indeed my pleasure to serve. I'm always available to you anytime. Please tell the HACU family hello for me. Abrazos y besos también. And just, I appreciate you coming on, and the door is always open for anybody from HACU. So please feel free to reach out if there's ever any other topics that you want to focus in on here at the Empowerment Zone.
Igualmente, Ramona, and that means the same to you. Our house is your house. Nuestra casa es su casa, right? As the saying goes in Spanish. So you're always welcome. You have definitely become a member of the HACU family for a while now. And we are glad that you're from Houston. We don't get to see you as often since you're in the Atlanta area now, but we're coming back to Atlanta. So pretty soon we're going to be in your backyard. And we definitely look forward to you being involved with us once we have our conference in Atlanta. So thank you very, very much on behalf of HACU, on behalf of Dr. Antonio Flores, our president and CEO, for this opportunity to be able to talk about HACU. And we hope that any of your guests that are listening to your podcast that might be interested in helping us champion Hispanic higher education success will definitely reach out to us and let us know how we can help provide more information, etc. And if you have any of those wonderful donors that would like to also contribute to our organization, they're more than welcome to go to our donate page and also contribute and help us as a 501c3 charitable organization to continue to advance the success of these students who will be taking care of us one day. So we want to make sure that they're going to be very productive citizens once they graduate from their college or university. So thank you so much, Ramona.
Thank you. Hi, welcome. I have Sandra Sandy Espinosa Holt, and she is Chief Development and Marketing Officer at the Hispanic Association of Colleges and Universities, also known as HACU for short. Hi, Sandy. How are you today?
I'm doing well, Miss Ramona. How are you today?
Fine, thank you. As you know, I'm a big advocate for higher education, and I want to know where you attended school, and then if you could provide us one piece of advice you would give to students who need strategies for college success.
Very good. Well, as Ramona indicated, my name is Sandra, or Sandy Espinosa Holt, and I do work for the Hispanic Association of Colleges and Universities, and I serve in the capacity of their Chief Development and Marketing Officer. And in my capacity, I oversee all of the development and fundraising, the conferences and events, and communications and marketing. So it's a very important role, and we want to make sure that everyone is aware of our mission to champion Hispanic higher education success. A little bit about myself. I grew up in a Hispanic family. I am Hispanic, Latina, Latinx, whatever the term is du jour, right? Everyone goes by different ethnicity, background, or description, but I am Hispanic, and I am of Mexican-American descent, but also of Spanish descent, German descent, and Aztec indigenous descent as well. When our family gets together, we kind of look like the United Nations. We have all colors, shades, etc. in our family, so very proud of our heritage in our family. I am a first-generation college student in my family, and I attended undergraduate at Our Lady of the Lake University in San Antonio, and I received a Bachelor of Business Administration with a major in Human Resource Management and a minor in Economics. And then I ended up at St. Mary's University for my graduate program, where I received a Master's in Public Administration. My entire life has been to serve students who would like to get into higher education, first by working in higher education for over 18 years, then for working in corporate America, and also championing and doing outreach to the Hispanic community. And now with HACU, where indirectly we work with colleges and universities, and directly we do work with students through programming that we're able to provide for them in order for them to pursue their higher education and become successful, productive citizens in the United States that are able to then give back to their families and also their communities. So that is a little bit about me and my background. Because I currently work at HACU, the Hispanic Association of Colleges and Universities, I'd like to tell you a little story, if I may, about myself. So as a first-generation college student, I was shy and also probably, was not as confident as perhaps I may be now. However, there was a person at my undergraduate alma mater at Our Lady of the Lake University by the name of Dr. Antonio Regual, who also happens to be the founder of the Hispanic Association of Colleges and Universities. And this individual became my mentor, my lifelong mentor, if I can say that. He passed away about 5.5 years ago now. However, he mentored me all the way through my undergrad, my grad, through my college and university career, and then career goals later on. And so whenever I wanted to talk to him about something, I would reach out to him and seek his advice. The organization that I work for now, HACU, was founded on the campus of Our Lady of the Lake University. And at the time, unbeknownst to me, what would happen many years later, I was also called upon by this mentor of mine to speak to prospective funders that would support the creation of the Hispanic Association of Colleges and Universities. So it is wonderful that my career has taken me from working in higher education all those years to now working at the Hispanic Association of Colleges and Universities, and being able to give back to this organization that gave so much to me as a student at a Hispanic serving institution, and to all other students that are also receiving the benefits of this organization that has provided advocacy for them in higher education. So very blessed to have had this path, in higher education. Loved my undergrad alma mater, loved my graduate alma mater, and I just hope that any student who would like to pursue a higher education beyond high school will actually do that, because you can do it.
Great. I'm glad to hear. That's an interesting story about how your mentor guided you also to HACU. So what piece of advice would you give students if they want, what is one piece of strategy, one strategy that you would provide students to achieve success in higher education, especially with you being a first generation student?
Absolutely. Well, Ramona, there's not just one piece of advice that you can give to students, particularly in the area that I have served in for many years. But I think what is important for students of color is that you don't ever want anybody to tell you that you can't do it.
Exactly.
Okay? Ever. You can do it. Okay? You can achieve a higher education if that is your goal. You want to ask questions. If you're in middle school and high school, ask your counselors for information of how you're going to be able to get into higher education and what is going to be the best avenue in terms of the proper courses that you need to take right now in middle school and high school in order for you to get into that institution of higher education that you want. Visit a college or university. Perhaps you have a dream to attend a particular college or university. Go visit that campus. Don't be afraid to go there. People there want to see you. They want to be able to share information with you. So please visit a campus. Do a virtual campus tour. Many of the colleges and universities already have virtual tours on their websites. Visit that website, and also reach out to the admissions counselors. Every college and university has an admissions office, and they are ready to work with you. You're going to make their day by contacting them and visiting them. And also visit your financial aid offices at these colleges and universities. These individuals are caring individuals that want to make sure that you're successful, but most importantly, they are there to help you figure out how you're going to be able to pay for it, to be able to give your mom and dad, your parents, advice on how they can best help you pay for your education so that you can go to college. And do not be afraid of even considering a private institution. Many times people think, I cannot afford a private institution because it costs so much. These institutions take that into consideration when they are developing a financial aid package for your family. So please, whatever your dream is, don't let anybody tell you that you can't do it. If you want to do it, you can make it happen. And there are people that do care about your success that want to help you make it happen. So reach out to an admissions counselor on a college or university campus of your dreams. Reach out to the financial aid counselor on the college or university of your dreams. And start out by asking and talking to your counselors at your middle school and your high school. And I promise that if you get all that information and you do your research, you are going to become a very successful student. And we're going to be able to help you make that happen. And those people are going to be your angels. You might not know it now because we don't ever know these things when we're younger, but you will understand that when you get to be my age. And I'm not going to tell you my age because it's pretty old, but yes, you will understand that. So I cannot just give you one piece of advice, Ramona. It's a multiple faceted response.
Well, I appreciate that, Sandy. And as you can see, Sandy has not only worked in multiple capacities in higher education, she's also passionate about higher education. So she has a wealth of advice to offer. You must believe in yourself. You must ask questions. You must visit the campuses. You have to contact your admissions officers and build a relationship with them. Contact your financial aid officers who will help you develop strategies to pay for college. Also, don't confine yourself to only specific types of colleges and universities. You can also consider private institutions as well. And above all, believe that you do have angels who are there to assist you. Thank you so much, Sandy. That was great. I know the students are going to love to hear this information in terms of create a whole bunch of strategies and not just one.
Absolutely. And to all of your audience participants, good luck with your educational endeavors. We wish you much, much success, regardless of where you are attending. Keep shooting for the stars.
Thank you. Thanks, Sandy. Thanks for coming. It was a pleasure having you.
Thank you, Ramona.
A special thank you to the incredible team of the Empowerment Zone. Terry Gully, theme song. NADWorks, digital support, and of course, our featured guest.
If you enjoyed my podcast, please subscribe. We are on all of your favorite podcast platforms. Be sure to rate us on Apple Podcasts too. Thank you for your continued support.